heading off down the Ardnamurchan Peninsula today. We're going to be taking our bikes and hopefully seeing if we can get to the Singing Sands beach, which is just beyond Kentra Bay. According to TripAdvisor, it's meant to be really beautiful, so we'll see when we get there. We've had really good weather up here this week, but I think it's due to change this afternoon. So whether we get there and back again before we get caught in rain, who knows? But let's go find out. We start our ride at the Singing Sands car park at the edge of Kentra Bay, which supports one of the Highlands' largest salt marshes, an important habitat for many species of plants and wintering waders and wildflower. I would like to point out that I'm not an adventurous mountain biking girl, and I have a love-hate relationship with my mountain bike. While I appreciate that it can handle rougher tracks than my dear road bike ever could, if we hit any form of rough or soft surface, I usually end up nearly falling off and will bail at the first sign of trouble. So while I would love to come across as a cool, tough adventurer who can tackle anything that is thrown at her, that is definitely not me. My kind of adventure is the slightly haphazardous, steady and gentle kind, where we go looking for nice views, get distracted by sheep, and hopefully find a good picnic spot or cafe along the way. Getting back to the bike ride in question, it's roughly 6 miles to the Singing Sands, following a gravel track along the side of the bay, giving me plenty of time to soak up the landscape and enjoy the feeling of being surrounded by nature. I think that is something I do enjoy about cycling. You can cover more ground quicker than you can walking, but it's still a slow enough pace that you can enjoy your surroundings and catch wonderful glimpses of wildlife. After a while, the track leaves Kentra Bay and we head into woodland. There was a lot of forestry work going on, which doesn't make for the prettiest viewing. But there was also some lovely spots where the sun filtered through the trees. It wasn't exactly the most welcoming arrival to a beach, with danger signs and leftovers of felled trees and a random caravan parked in the dunes. But once you get to the beach itself, you realise it was well worth the journey. The Singing Sands beach gets its name from the noise the sand makes if you shuffle across it as the grains of sand rub together. Apparently, in order to get this noise, the grains of sand need to be perfectly round and between 0.1 and 0.5 millimeters in diameter, as well as containing silica and the right levels of humidity. Somebody obviously spent a lot of time studying sand to work that out. We of course stopped for a picnic and enjoyed the views over to Skye, although sand inevitably gets everywhere and you end up with a slightly gritty sandwich, which does take some of the enjoyment out of the experience. There weren't that many shells on the beach, so I had to make do with admiring a razor clam and a jellyfish that had been washed up. A quite fascinating close-up, a really amazing texture, but also really quite freaky. Yeah, that's not the swimming temperature. No, thank you. Once we'd finished exploring the beach, it was time to head back. Although the thought of needing to get up that first massive hill was rather putting me off. Getting out of the dunes with a bike was hard enough. Loose rocks and hills are not a good combination for me, so it's back to pushing the bike up the hill to avoid any embarrassment of falling off in front of all the people and dogs that have suddenly appeared. From what I've read online, I believe this area of coastline is where they filmed Channel 4's Eden project. Eden was a reality TV show that totally passed me by, but I heard about it later on when I discovered the Isle of Skye artist Katie Tunn, who was a contestant on the show. It was meant to be a social experiment, demonstrating how these contestants could create a self-sufficient community from scratch. However, it seemed it all went a bit Lord of the Flies, with contestants quitting and a group of men setting up their own camp, fueled by a meat-only diet and misogynistic views. The show got cancelled halfway through, but no one told the contestants. However, they kept on filming, so they did do a short follow-up programme after it was all over. It's quite strange to think all this drama took place in this picturesque landscape. As much as I like the sound of living a simpler life and spending time in nature, I would not want to experience Channel 4's version of Eden. I think the top and bottom of it is that I like being around my few select people. I'm very introverted, and I like my own space and do my own little creative pursuits. Dealing with a lot of other people is quite draining and just hard work. So this is us back at the car park now. We've actually managed to get back before the rain started, although the clouds are building now, so I suspect it's going to be on its way very soon. I'm going to head back. I've got some Isle of Harris themed books to make, so I'll tell you about them when we get back. Back in June, I attended a craft fair at Haddington in East Lothian, which was the first time I was solely selling my handmade books. While there, I met a lovely seller who noticed the Gaelic name that I use as the brand name for my little business. We got chatting, and it turns out that she has family ties on the Isle of Harris, and every summer she runs a little pop-up gallery at Borvemor art studio, selling her own paintings as well as arts and crafts by other creatives. She'd asked if I'd be interested in making some Isle of Harris and Lewis notebooks to sell in the gallery, and of course I said yes. See, this is why craft fairs can be so beneficial. Even if you don't have the most successful show sales-wise, you can still make some really great connections, which can lead to exciting ways of getting your art out there. It was a bit of a last-minute rush to get the books made in time for the gallery, which meant I ended up finishing a few of them off in the barn while I was up there on my week's holiday. I picked up an old OS map of Lewis and Harris from an antique shop back in the Borders, which was perfect for some of the covers, as well as some genuine Harris tweed. I had 6 books in total that were being packed off to Harris. I loved the thought of them heading off on their own little journey across the Minch to the Outer Hebrides, where hopefully someone would spot them in the gallery and buy them to remind themselves of their own adventures on Harrison Lewis. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Do please leave me a like and a comment if you did. See you soon!